Hey y'all, how are you today? It's Juju. Come on back in my kitchen. Let's cook one more time together. I'm going to let y'all hang out with me while I put together our supper. And what I'm going to be fixing is I'm going to do some green beans and I'm going to do some kielbasa. Now I'm going to use turkey kielbasa. This is the Hillshire Farm. I'm going to do turkey kielbasa. And I'm going to do some cabbage and kielbasa. So I'm going to be cutting up some cabbage and some onion. And the first thing I'm going to do is get my pan heating. I'm going to put a little olive oil. And I'm going to put a little butter. Sorry, y'all. Got to get my butter. Thought I had it over here, but I don't. Gonna put a little butter in the dish, probably about, I would say, two heaping tablespoons of butter. And I'm also gonna go ahead and crank my heat up. Now you won't probably be able to see that just yet, but I'm gonna crank my heat up. And I'm going to put, y'all don't judge, but I'm going to put some bacon grease in my pan and let it be heating up. And, turkey doesn't have a lot of fat to it. So I'm going to add a little bacon grease to my green beans and to my cabbage, okay? I'm also, once my bacon grease gets heated and I put my green beans in, I'm going to put a little broth in there with my green beans, okay? Now, you can do water or season your water, whatever. I'm just going to cook my green beans in a little broth, okay? So, I'm just going to wait till this butter, olive oil, and bacon grease. While it's getting hot, let's go ahead and chop up our cabbage. Y'all see me okay? Just giving it a rough chop into like bite-sized pieces. I love cabbage and kielbasa. Do y'all love it? Calm down. I'll run off the... More cabbage than what I realized. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead too, and I'm going to season with some black pepper. We love black pepper. I have got some garlic powder and some onion powder. I'm going to go ahead and toss my cabbage in there. Y'all know cabbage, like most leafy greens, kind of shrivels up. But I like to make a lot of this because I like to eat it the next day left over for my lunch. Smells good. What are y'all fixing for supper? I think that's a little piece of the, thought I cut all that off, but I think that was a little piece of the hard part of the core. Okay, let me grab my green beans. Got my green beans in my bacon grease. Alright, let's finish chopping up this last little bit of cabbage. Get it in there. Sometimes I'll even cut up some peppers, like some bell pepper. Alright, cut up this onion. Gonna do the same thing, gonna rough chop it. Okay, let's pop that lid on. This is just my little cast iron cooker, enamel coated. Alright, let's go ahead and give our sausage a I just kind of like to cut it on a diagonal in bite-sized pieces. Then I like to add it in on top of the cabbage because it gives it that added smoky flavor. You know, the sausage is pretty much cooked. Sometimes I'll even put it in first and caramelize it and then put my cabbage in on my drippings from my kielbasa. But I'm using turkey, and turkey doesn't have a lot of fat, does it really? So I want to get my flavors in there through my bacon grease and my butter and my oil and all my seasonings. Okay, so a lot of times though, if I'm using a beef sausage or kielbasa or whatever, I will caramelize it in the bottom of the pan first. But today we're just going to put the sausage in with it. It smells so good. I'm going to add a little bit more salt and pepper. Going to give those green beans a stir. Pop the lid on those. Just got them on my back eye. And then guys, I'm going to pop the lid on this. And let those cabbage sweat down and steam in there for a little bit. And then I'll be back with you, okay? Also decided to put on some eggs to boil. I'm going to make some deviled eggs too. I remembered I had some squash in the refrigerator that I needed to use. So I'm also chopping up some squash and some onions. And I'm going to stew me some squash and onions together. Saute them up, okay? And guys, we're going to have us some good supper here in a little bit. I'm going to finish letting these stew down, and and then I'll be back, okay? I thought I'd bring y'all back and let you see where we're at. Our cabbage and our sausage are cooking up nicely and beginning to get tender and smelling so good. Our eggs are boiling for our deviled eggs. Our green beans are cooking, and our squash and our onions are starting to sweat some in the pan, and just gonna let them cook, let all the juices cook out of them, and just stew them down and have some, I've seasoned them really good with some salt and pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, just letting them cook down, and they're gonna be yummy, delicious. So basically where I'm at right now is I'm just letting everything finish cooking, and once my eggs get through boiling, I'll of course crack them and make some deviled eggs out of those. And if I have time before I've got to get supper on the table, then I'll come back and I'll do that with you, okay? But right now, just letting everything cook, and I'll be back, all right? Guys, supper is ready. I'm gonna fix me up a plate just so that I can share it with you. My husband is on his way home from work, probably 15 minutes, and he'll be here. I'll fix him up a plate and we'll enjoy our supper together. But I'm gonna fix my plate with you so that you can see everything that I have prepared, and everything is smelling delicious. I sliced us up some tomatoes, some cucumber, and some deviled eggs. I went ahead and peeled my deviled eggs and cut them in half and smashed up the yolk. I added a little mayonnaise, salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, and just mixed that up and made me some quick deviled eggs. Oh, and some pickle relish. I put some pickle relish in it. So we've got our green beans, our stewed squash and onions are done, our kielbasa and cabbage. So let's go ahead and make this up a plate, guys, okay? It's gonna be a little hot, so I'm gonna have to blow. All right, let's get us some green beans. Sometimes I will make cornbread with a meal like this, but just didn't feel like all that extra bread tonight, so we're not gonna be having bread, and that's okay. Okay. Let me get me some squash. Oh, I'm excited about this squash, y'all. I love some squash and onions. Sure do. Let me get me a cucumber and a tomato and a deviled egg. And of course, some more black pepper. See the steam still coming off of it. Got some green beans, some cabbage and sausage, squash and onions, some tomatoes and cucumbers, and a deviled egg. Now, let's sample everything. Let's see if I can come a little bit closer to y'all. Yeah. So you can see. Lord bless this food. Thank you for it. In Jesus' name, amen. A lot of my favorites. Yeah. That is good. My honey's going to be happy tonight. Well, he's always happy about anything I fix for supper, for the most part. There's been a few times it's been a, but you know what, he's so grateful. He'll eat it because I mean, that ain't my favorite, but I appreciate you making it. But this is just some comfort food. Let me get some of that squash too. I'm going to get another bite of that squash. I wish y'all were here. Little deviled egg, creamy. These are my, y'all know, my little free range chicken eggs from my neighbor. Y'all, all I can tell you is that is some fine eating. And I got enough for leftovers. As you can see, gonna have leftovers. Oh, I'll put y'all back this way. Leftovers. I love leftovers. Do y'all like leftovers? Comment below if you like leftovers. Sometimes, and some things, leftovers, they're just even better the next day. Everything is delicious. Well, did I take a bite of my sausage? I can't remember. Just in case, let me. Everything's just yummy, y'all. Just delicious. Good comfort food. You know, it's a little colder. We got a little cold spell that's moved in, and even though the daytime has been beautiful and sunny, it's been windy, and the temperatures, when that sun goes down, the temperatures have been dropping. This is just some good, comforting food. Okay. I'm sure by now y'all are tired of seeing me eat and talk while I'm eating. So, I won't keep you any longer. But thank y'all for hanging out with me while I made supper tonight. And this is actually Thursday night. I don't know if you'll see this in the morning. You'll see it in the next couple of days. I've got a couple of videos before this one that I've done. So, unless I choose to upload this one in the morning. And I may, I don't know. Sometimes I don't know till the next morning what I feel like I want to share. But it's, when I'm videoing this, it's Thursday evening at 10 till 6. So I'm going to go and get ready to fix my husband's plate. And I appreciate y'all being here with me. I love you guys. I thank you for following me and encouraging me along the way and just hanging out with me while I prepare these videos. But if you will, let me tell you before I do go, be the hands and feet of Jesus and his mouthpiece and show some loving kindness to somebody. Ask the Lord to lead you to somebody this week who definitely stands in need of. Or just go ahead and plan ahead for the upcoming holiday and ask the Lord to show you who you can be a blessing to. Whether it's just taking them a plate. Listen, I have taken leftover food to the fire department and to the ambulance service, to the paramedics, and fed them. They're on 24-hour shifts, and sometimes they're not able to be with their And I know this because I had a son-in-law that was a paramedic for 12 years. And I know that they appreciated leftover food the next day when they couldn't be with their families because they're on a 24-hour shift. So anything like that, or just somebody who you know you can be a blessing to, be a blessing to them. And you're a blessing to me, and I appreciate you being here with me. And I'll see you back here in my kitchen again real soon for another great recipe. I love you guys. Bye-bye.